Hey, what's up, guys? So it's time for another eBay antique unboxing, and I'm a little dismayed by this packaging. This is a very fragile item, and it was placed in an envelope, and as you can see, it's all hollow, and then this thing was able to move all around back and forth, not with not much protection. So, I'm a little concerned about the integrity of the item. It might be broken. So, I'm filming this just in case so I can show my seller. All right, well, they put it in a box, and it is a box, actually. So, let's check it out. And this is a Victorian antique calling card case made out of mother of pearl. And I've always wanted one of these, in the worst way, made out of mother of pearl, that is. And let's pray and hope it's okay. Because it was able to move around inside that envelope. And so far, let's see. So good. Oh, thank goodness. This is actually in decent condition. And I have some other calling card cases from the Victorian era here. So basically, this was popular starting in about 1820. And that's when the calling card became everyday etiquette and politeness in society. Now, this was back in the days version of today's like business cards and also ringing of the bell. And when I say ringing of the bell, people didn't just barge into people's houses and just show up, and that was impolite. So the calling card was basically you would ask permission to visit someone since they didn't have telephones at the time. You would show up at somebody's house and pass the servant a card, and much like these that I have here, and they came in all different designs. This is a hidden name calling card. So you lift up the little panel. Let's see if we can do this. And then you'd see somebody's name in there. And if they were wealthy enough, it would be printed. This one is signed. And so there's an example. There's many others in my antique calling card cases that I have in my collection. This one made out of leather with a gorgeous brass edging and design. This one made out of some kind of like maybe buffalo skin or beaver fur. And so yeah, you wouldn't just show up to somebody's house and just ring the bell or knock on the door. And they did have doorbells, believe it or not, in the Victorian era. You would actually need to bring one of these cards. And the servant who actually answered the door would take your calling card to the madame or the gentleman of the home. And there you would be received or not received. So if the person wasn't in the mood for taking visitors, you would actually get the card back, and one of the edges would be folded a certain way. They had different messages for the folding of the edges. One meaning, I'm here to offer condolences. I'm not taking your visit. There was all sorts of meanings behind all of this. And if you look, the hand is pretty prominent on a lot of these cards. The hand showed you the sentiment. And sometimes you'll see a hand with birds, or a hand with flowers, or a hand right here with a butterfly. And true happiness, it says on this card. Okay, so here's some examples of calling cards in my collection. I have more tucked away in one of these card cases. And here's the many different designs you would see. And they would have little sayings on them. Now, you could purchase them back in the day. Generally, they would sell 50 of these for what's today's money of about $5. So it was 50 for 15 cents. And they came, they came in assorted different styles. And here's one with forget-me-nots. Some of them had hidden romantic gestures on them as well. You could be like a secret admirer of somebody. And most of them were friendship. Here we go. We have this one. This one's really cool. It has this beautiful silken fringe on it. And yeah, so the cards. Now, since you have these calling cards, you needed a fancy case. Mostly women did the visiting. Men did visiting too, but mostly women. And the deal with visiting was it was polite to visit someone for no more than 15 to 20 minutes. And serious discussions were really not a thing of the time. You didn't have serious discussions about today, where everyone goes on Twitter and starts like cursing about politics and screaming and yelling about, social justice and all this other crap. You would just visit somebody and just say, hi, how you doing? How was your week? That type of thing. And it was considered very rude if you didn't have a calling card. I don't think anybody in their right mind during the Victorian era would visit somebody without a calling card. If not, you were like one of the poors. And when I say one of the poors, you were really considered low class. Yeah, you were really like sort of frowned upon. So they came in all different kinds of cases. They made ivory ones, which were for the rich, and silver and gold, which were for the rich. And they made them out of mother of pearl. They made them out of all sorts of materials, paper mache, abalone shell, all sorts of things. And these generally were made with these little mother of pearl panels glued onto a piece of wood. And you see this is in a beautiful diamond pattern. And you would place the cards in here. And you would keep the cards from being bent up. And you know, if you had them in a purse or your pocket, they would get destroyed and bent up. And, you know, it looked sort of ratty. So you'd have to have a special card case for it. So that's why these are pretty cool to collect. Now, it's pretty interesting too that most people had servants and stuff, and so you wouldn't hand your card to the person, you would hand it to the servant, and the servant would bring the message to the lady of the house. And this is quite cool. Now I got this one. Generally they sell in the $70 range, depending on the shape it's in. A lot of times these mother of pearl cases pretty much come junked out. And when I say junked out, they're like cracked and broken. The hinges are busted off. You know, there's some kind of degree of damage. And I was lucky enough to find this one at $26 on auction. And nobody really found it. It was in a bad category with a bad description. Someone just thought it was a vintage business card holder. And so I got lucky that no other dealers or collectors saw it. And I won it at 26 bucks. And they generally sell anywhere between, again, depending on condition, about $70 all the way up to $200 for these mother of pearl ones. Now this one has panels of abalone. I guess it's called abalone or abalone shell. You can see the iridescent parts of the shell with regular mother of pearl panels. And this one is in really decent condition. Now sometimes wealthier women would have their names engraved on it. There's a spot for engraving, but sadly, this was this was not engraved. So that's quite interesting. Now, again, you can get 50 calling cards for today's money price of about $5. So 15 cents for 50 of these cards. And the richer ladies had them printed, you know, had a printer actually print their names in them. But you will see a lot of them with the lady's name written in ink. And that's quite interesting. So I hope you enjoyed another one of my videos with a little bit of a history about the item. And I was really stoked to be able to add this to my collection. This is really fancy looking and beautiful and in lovely, lovely condition, as you can see here. Look at that iridescence. That is just something else. All right, guys, I'll see you all soon, and so long.